All right, this is Coach Hatcher, Sports Inside and Out. That's right. The voice of the legends of sports. That's right. When the legends speak, people listen. And I'm so happy to have the show back with you. We're on SoundCloud, we're on Spotify, we're YouTubing. We got all the things of the news you can use and bring it right there into you. And we got a great one today. The previous season was was another quagmire. And when you start talking about coaching, playing, and legends, then you're getting to the meat of to really what makes the game what it is from those that help make the game. And we got one of the great ones right here on Sports Inside and Out, another asset to our great cadre, I should say, of great legends. And he's one of the great ones. Every team he played with, including his draft, the first year draft team for Chicago Bulls, he's made the team better. And that's hard to say. And when Wally Jones, one of the great guards of the NBA and clinicians, said one of the guys he always admired was Cliff. That said, Clifford Ray, that said it all for me because I've been really had Cliff on my radar when I was early playing basketball, and I wanted to go to Oklahoma too. I never really told him. So anyway, that's another story. But we got him here right now. So much is going on in Cliff's career and life. There is no postseason for Cliff because he's 24/7. He's an author and he's really adamant about children books and writing for kids, which is our only natural resource. Uh, so much is going on in his life and still coaching, consultant. He is the premier big man coach and consultant in the NBA. And so happy to be here with him and have him a part of our staff, our content staff, I should say. We got him right here, right now, that's in Orlando, Florida. He's all over the place. Hard to catch him sometimes. The great Clifford Ray. Hey, Cliff, what's up?
How you doing, Coach? It's great
Oh,
to
man.
be with
Wow,
you this
you
morning.
doing? It's the case, yeah.
I'm doing great. I just been
Yeah.
busy. Had a couple inductions, California Hall of Fame induction and South
Hmm.
Carolina Hall of Fame induction,
Yeah.
and then I've been promoting Big Clifford Ray Saves the Day, which is my first literary thing that was done by my team, Laney Weaver and Courtney Weaver and myself.
Right.
One, we finished our first book, and we are now just been out and about. So I had a great time in South Carolina. Spoke to over 2,000 kids,
Yeah.
and was able to have the help from the community in Unions County, South
Hmm.
Carolina. Bought books for all the kids,
Yeah.
and we got to speak at Carnegie Library, which was off limits to us back in the day when we were
That's
growing up.
right. That's right.
And it was just
Yeah.
an honor to be able to be speaking to a group of us leading citizens in the library, along with signing some books for the kids that came uh, by, and that was on our last day. So the last day was probably a really good day because I was able to speak to a lot of leading citizens of
Right.
South Carolina and to try to stimulate them to understand that the youth, if the world's going to change, it's going to have to be with a group of young people that are on the elementary, middle school, and junior high. Those
That's
are
the
the
next
kids that have an
generation.
opportunity. That
That's right.
generation has an opportunity to change the world.
Yeah,
So
no
I think we
question.
should spend more time trying to always help them. And so a lot of guys around the league, not just me, LeBron, I can name a whole bunch of guys, Alonzo Moore, and all these guys have programs that are helping young people. Steph Curry just put in $6 million for a literacy program, uh, and he also had, it just does a lot of great things. LeBron does a lot of great things that they don't really talk about because they're too busy talking about him and his son.
Yeah.
Every human being that I know when I go to I've gone to NBA finals and all the people who work from the in the NBA who have
Yeah,
children, their
yeah,
children are walking around in the gymnasium with
yeah.
credentials on. So we all help our children. So I like to feel like that we as Black people have a right to help our children too.
Well, one thing is that when legends speak, people listen is one of our mottos. And we take it share because the legends are the brand of sports because the things that we did coming up, mistakes we made, things we've learned, the wisdom we learned. Now that is the cornerstone of what the kid can come up with now because the mistakes and all the sacrifices have been made by the legends and then kept the brand to show the young people what the name brand is for them in their lives. It's a great thing to be able to be a part of that tutorial piece that's going on in our generation now, Ray, because we did the same. We learned from those before us. So we had a gap in there for a minute or two, a generational gap in there that we're trying to make up for the brain, that astuteness, the moral fiber, the things, the spiritual values, those things that helped us. Believe me, we had fun, we made mistakes, but we love the Lord. We know what it is to be raised up in a God-fearing family and around those that speak, even though we listen or not. That decision was ours, but it all came back to one thing. We now have the wisdom to push on for the next generation to not make the same mistakes and be even better with the things that they can do in the future. Two-thirds of everything, as we know, is in the mind. Ray, ability is good. That's a natural inborn thing. But success and everything else goes within that 6-inch gap between your head. So uh, it's a great thing to see you and Wally and all the guys, even Sam Stiff and so many guys are writing now, trying to be the linguistical component because kids need to read. They don't need to get on these things. And what you're doing now is bringing the basics of success back. You got to be able to read and comprehend. So you're doing such a great job, and everybody, as far as clinics during the summer. I know you're in such a big demand. You and Wally and the cats. Wally is head knee deep into Philly with the gang things that's going on now. But you're able to fluidly go around the country because you're representing not just the brand of Clifford Ray, which is all about you're taking the brand of the NBA. Silver is really, really uh, got a prize when he has you out there being the face of the NBA with the youth.
Well, well, everybody, it's not just me. It's a lot of
It's a lot,
young,
yeah,
a lot of people who are out there who are doing good work. And
yeah,
all we have to do is to just continue to plant seeds and to
mm,
cultivate.
yeah,
And when you do, and doing those things, you ask those kids that when they get in the position of being legends, that continue to do the same thing.
that's
And
right.
so
Almost
if
like
we
the
can,
each one teach one.
yeah. I mean,
Huh?
when you think about it, okay, someone has to pave a way.
Right.
Credibility was something that the NBA went through a period of just growing, just like the
Yeah.
NFL, just like Major League Baseball, just like hockey, just like soccer. Every time there's introduction of something into our country, like soccer was introduced to, where now we are competing and catching up with all the European soccer leagues
Right.
and girls and men and women. And someone has to start all these things. And so we, you, myself, Wally, Chet Walkers of the world,
Mhm.
Kareem, all these great people, Wilt Chamberlain, uh, Bob Pettit. Just you could go on and on and on.
Right,
Everyone who has had a cycle in the National Basketball Association or
right,
any professional league
right,
is going to be able to help if they desire to, because it's not that many
right.
people that get to that level,
That's
and
right.
especially
Absolutely.
superstars like guys like LeBron, guys like Wilt,
Right,
guys
right,
like Russell, all
right.
these guys, Steph Curry now, all these guys, generational guys, as they come to each generation. And that's why I don't like to compare generations. I always say this is their time. And if
There
they're
it
the,
is.
if
There it
their
is.
if
There
their
it is.
constituents think they are the GOAT, then they're the
Right,
GOAT. It
right.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
That's
put
right.
any damper on the past, because history is never going to be extinct. There will always be history
That's right.
because that's how it's
Right.
formatted. You know,
That's right.
you are now and you're then and your history.
That's right. That's right.
And
And
sports
how
is
you
a
perceive is how you left the brand uh, that you had your interest in life on. So you know that if you had a good brand, they're gonna say that was a fine young man, or fine brother, or fine impact entrepreneur, whatever you may be. And of course, if it's negative, that's exactly what they're gonna say. That guy was a sorry son of a gun. But anyway. Well, we happen to be in one thing that I think, Cliff, we always talked about, even if our careers professionally sometimes go topsy-turvy and roundabout. You know, my career in, out, mostly around the world and back in. Uh, some of but God didn't make any mistakes, and the impact that we made here around in our communities are just as impactful, because one thing we did do, we became legends and heroes representative of where we were raised. So regardless of where it is, if it's in the small hamlets of the South and West, you are that hero. You are that brand. They can say, "Hey, uh, I knew, and I was proud to know a Clifford Ray." And even if they don't remember your name in Paris, but you're a hero there at home. So, that's what we do, create heroes. The kids can be something that's impactful, that they're representing and hail from. And that's a powerful thing that we do, because they do listen to us too. Ray, they do listen to us. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Let's talk about let's talk about this book a little bit. Uh,
it's a
what was it?
I some years ago I was put in a situation where I was able to save the life of a dolphin. And I guess, as you would say, in that particular period of time, it was not, they didn't use the word viral and all the things of blowing up, whatever, all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
jargon they use. But, anyways, it was a world story that went around the world, and
Mhm.
actually got rewarded by the National Geographic, even got a award from, honor from the president, all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah, yeah.
so I never really did anything until I started speaking about it when people would ask me, and I would tell the story. And some young person, as smart as they all are, they said, you should, you're probably doing something that not very many people have done in the world. So you should leave that as something to that young people can read about.
Yeah,
And so that kind of motivated me to sit down and spend 2 years to try to put something together that was positive, not something that would have a negative impact. Although there are other things that, as Big Clifford moves along uh, as a literary, that I will be able to take some of the life lessons and put it into a form that young people can learn something from it. And right now, I've been working on one about Big Clifford race runs away, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
an
that's cute.
interesting
Yeah,
story. But it's something that they can learn from. That
yeah,
sometimes when you think things are bad, they're not nearly as bad as they can be. That's
right,
the crux of this next book. And
right.
so, anyways, it's been a fun thing. Work with two lovely people, and nobody's perfect. We all have our little issues and things like that.
Mhm.
But to be able to work through things together as a team, I believe in teamwork. I,
Oh
I've
yeah.
never, I've never been an individual. I've always been a support person in a team. Every team I played on, from
Right.
the start of, the only time I was actually the star was,
Mhm.
in high school when I was the man. And then
Yeah.
I knew that I had to go to college, and I was able to be accepted to some Division I schools that were at the time not quite settled in terms of open arms for blacks. If you went to a school, you had to be able to handle all the things. And I always look at that movie with uh, Jackie Robinson,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and all of us can, especially you, myself, Will, all of us have can tell that story.
Yes, we
All of
can. Yeah, Cliff. It's really strange. We got about 15 more minutes, and we want to put that into some of the things I know that some of these young ladies and young boys want to hear. But we're gonna get a conclave on you for about 15. But one thing is that I'm very, very, very much proud of the way that we are making the guys and have with what we do with Sports Inside and Out Legends Speak and what Tim Reed, our dear great active friend and one of the catalysts of TV now with Legacy TV with his lovely wife Daphne and the group. We're happy to be there because now we can actually tell these stories of the legends like they want to tell them, and that's one thing that we do have, Cliff, is that we're unlike the scripted pieces that you get from ESPN and the bouncers. Yeah, the guys act like they can say things a little bit presumptive, but they don't get the real heart stories of the legends like we are able to with Sports Inside and Out because this is your voice to tell the fans and have these young kids now that they do so well, Cliff, they Googling you as you speak.
yeah,
So, and now that we on this TikTok thing, man, it's going, now you talk about viral. Yeah, but
yeah.
we're happy to be able to bring them these things of history that now they are looking back and say, whoa, this guy was so, I mean, if people, I'm not trying, yeah, I'm being a little facetious right now because you're that, and you're a very good friend. So and we're into that the fraternity, the old timers, and what we did. And but what we do is we lead these kids into a way that they can say, you know what, wow, this guy's really something. And they do say it too. Where the Ray, they got this knack about them now that they don't want to be cool like they studying, but they get on these computers and say, yeah, now this cat was something back there. What we went through, they can appreciate for those that really want something out of life and the game that makes it because if you make a living playing a child's game, that's pretty good. You can always be childlike, because therefore you are always going to be a communicator. We were blessed enough to make a living and make an impact in life playing a child's game.
No question. That's the whole thing is that you can't knowing that, that means you're serious, but you don't want to take yourself so serious that you can't communicate.
Right,
That's
right,
the big
right.
thing. And
That's
you
right.
have to realize that no one is perfect.
No,
We're not perfect. No man is perfect. No woman is perfect. So
mm,
what we strive to do is each day we strive to be better as a
right.
human being,
That's
and to
right.
also be
That's right.
a attribute to society. You just
Right,
want to, like my
right.
dad would always say, I just want you guys to grow up and be decent men. And I want
Mm.
you, whatever you're doing, try to do your best. And
Do the
if you've done
best.
your
Do the
best,
best.
then
Do the
that's all you
best.
can ask for.
That's all.
You
Right,
can't please everybody,
right,
and,
right,
and it's not possible.
right,
But what you
right.
got to do is you go out and you work hard each and every day at anything and all the things that you try to do. You want to do, put your best foot forward.
No question. Clifford Ray is with us right now. We got a conclave coming up right now. Quick elevator he's going to give us about what he thinks of the big men today. But I just want to make sure the kids do realize Google, pay attention to careers such as Clifford Ray. Hard worker, hard at what he does, and took pride in his job description. This man led rebounding and block shots in every team he played on and culminated in some of the greatest things because he was on one of the greatest teams in the history of the NBA, like Wally and the guys with the great ones. The Cardiac Kids, the first dynasty, or the first really impactful Warriors Golden State team. Read it. It's a cardiac thing. We're going to talk about that. Reads over that right now for the last few minutes along with his opinions. But this is very important for you to learn where the game came from and how the attitudes have changed to make the game what it is today. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but we paved the way. And we are very, very happy that we're still around to that degree to see the impact. Let's talk about it right now. Cliff, I mean, I think that the thing that we really want to hear is what do you think of today's big men? Let's get a quick elevator on that. What's going
Well,
on?
I think that the I think that we've gone along analytically and all the things that we trying to do to always keep the fan base growing.
Mm,
I think the game of basketball can never be reinvented. I think that what we do is to try to keep making it better, keep allowing players to, show their skills and their talent
yeah,
and be able to work within a system without taking away from their talents.
right.
And when I say things like that, I think about the times when I came along and they took out the dunk in basketball, which was a
Yeah,
shot just like a hook shot
yeah,
or a finger
yeah,
roll or a
yeah,
big dipper. They would be like if they took the dipper shot away because Wilt was so efficient with it,
right,
or they took the hook shot away, which Kareem was probably the most devastating player that to shoot the hook shot that I've known in my lifetime.
right,
And suppose they took that away from him, you know, but
right,
but things happen on that level and you can't explain them. But you know what? It made you better because
right,
now look at the ball handling skills of the players.
right,
Look at the shooting skills of the players.
right,
Now they all these things have transformed and came about. Now they realize that you still need that five man. You still
right.
need that big, whether he's able to uh, be athletic, run the floor, spread, as they always say, stretch the offense,
Especially,
be able
that's
to
right,
be an inside scorer and outside scorer. We're now seeing players like Embiid. We're seeing players like Luke,
Luca, yeah,
Yoki.
yeah,
We see players like Davis. You know,
Right.
I think there's been players like that all throughout the history of the game. You could go
Right.
back to Bob McAdoo. You could go back to
That's right.
a lot of different players.
Yeah.
You know, that played at Seattle. His name eludes me right at the moment, but I can see him, a big blonde head kid
Jack
that played
Sigma.
Jack Sigma.
Sigma. Yeah.
You had a lot of different players that played. Alvin Adams. You could
Right.
there are a lot of players
Right.
that they call hybrid players back in those days. Well,
Right.
now that's just a norm. All the
Right.
players are straight up like beanstalks.
Yeah. Yeah.
The kid from San Antonio, the
Hmm.
kid from Portland. There's so many. They'll never not be bigs. That's the
Right.
bottom line.
Right.
If you want to, you have to have rim protection. With as
Right.
great a speed and everything that players have, Allen Iverson, one of the greatest, toughest young players, the young kid in New York, uh, you know, the guard that played
Yeah.
that had
Yeah.
a phenomenal Isaiah Thomas, who
Isaiah.
came to the Celtics,
Uh,
and when they knew they had a bad team, and he put his game on the line, and they allowed him to play, and so uh, it brought people to the arena to see a smaller player and think about the impact that smaller players have on the world because we're some of us are not what we call normal
right.
height or whatever.
Right.
But there are players that don't have, that have above normal speed. You
Right.
know, that's always going to be. You have
Right.
players that have ability to hang in the air longer than you do.
Right.
Whatever the case may be, there's always something that
Right.
creates excitement in the game. So you
Right.
really don't have to invent it. You just have to allow it to happen and
Right.
allow them to have the freedom to be able to do that. And that's the only change I see in basketball is
Right.
that,
Right.
they're allowing players to play and
Yeah.
then play within a structure.
One thing that I do think that the only need I see in the young kids, all the kids coming up today, which we had and took a pride in, was I would definitely say basketball IQ. We knew how to win. And
Well,
sometimes you see these young kids now, they 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 believe in I got to do it, I got to do it, and don't
what I
forget what
also
it takes that week.
I
Yeah,
think the system made that happen.
yeah,
You got to understand, for
yeah,
the longest time,
yeah,
a defensive player couldn't get paid, a rebounder
yeah,
couldn't get paid.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so what has happened is because of the changes that you still need those things to win.
Mhm.
You can't just outshoot somebody every night. That's not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
I don't
that's
care
right.
how great a shooter you are. If Steph Curry can go have a cold shooting night and other great shooters, whether it's Kevin Durant or any of your great
Hmm.
skill players. I mean,
Yeah,
guys perfect certain parts of their game that we call a go-to shot. Every
right,
player should
right,
have a shot that he can shoot
right,
4 out of 5.
right,
If he
right,
takes 5, he gonna make 4 or 5,
right.
four
He
out of
has that
five.
much confidence in it, right?
That
Hmm.
much confidence, exactly.
Right,
So
right,
that's never gonna change. That's always been. It's just what they have to learn is when they instituted the 3-point game. I feel like if I'm down 17 points, I'm the chaser.
right,
I'm chasing.
right,
The guy who's up 17, he's ahead. He don't have to chase.
right. That's right.
He just have to have what you just talked about is your basketball IQ.
Q.
And the
That's right.
basketball IQ is I
Protect.
always want to get something out of each offensive possession.
That's right. That's
I'll
right.
take a 2 when can't get a 3.
That's
I'll
right.
get to the free throw line to get 2 free shots where
Right,
no one is contesting me. And
right,
now that allows you to be able to work on perfecting yourself as a team to be known as a great
right,
free throw shooting team,
right,
along with a great shooting team,
right,
along with a great rebounding team,
Right.
along with a great passing team. All
Right.
those components playing together as a unit,
Right.
understanding what your game plan is, and
Right. And
staying with the
job
game
and job
plan.
and job description. Right.
Yeah, job description,
Yeah.
and that is all the
Yeah.
same things. Those
Yeah.
things never. In
Hmm.
order for
Yeah.
you to be a champion, these are the things you got to do.
That's right.
Boston
That's right.
Celtics are a great example. All the teams that have won championships, from my team to all the many championships that Bill Russell won with the Boston Celtics, all the things that the Knicks have done, all the things that the Lakers have done, all these different teams that have won championships have had to go down the same road
Right.
as the present teams have gone.
That's right.
You cannot shortcut it. There's no shortcut to it.
That's right.
You
That's right.
have to have great chemistry. You have to care about each other when you're on that floor. You got to trust each other, and you have to understand that it's not about you. It's about team.
Amen. You heard it from one of the greats, one of the best clinicians, top 50 greatest clinicians, along with Wally and the guys in NBA history. The premier go-to, sort it out, big man coach in the NBA. That is what he's known for. And he's got some stories he can tell you about some of the guys he's coached. I would tell you, he, yeah, be rolling, boy. I say he is something else, and still very much in demand and respected for his prowess and intellect in the business as well as everything else. I'm gonna tell you, Clifford, we got to get you back, no question about it. It's got to be a follow-up with this. Some great things are coming this season, and we know, and we ain't gonna tell too much about it. Just let it happen. We got a great program coming up. We're very proud to announce coming up with Big Man Show, and not just Big Man Show. We'll talk about the big young ladies in the WNBA too. So we got some great things coming. I want you to stay tuned to that and be a part of the great legends of sports. And we want to thank Max Zilla, the boss, our producer here today, keeping everything in line. Tim Reed, get on back safely from the Caribbean. Let's get going with the Legacy TV for professional athletes of Sports Inside and Out, Legends of Sports. And we're here right now with Cliff. God bless Cliff. Be careful down there
I
and
will do.
watch some whippersnappers and things of
That's
that
right.
nature down there.
And I
Always,
hope that all the people in the Caribbean look up Big Clifford Ray Saves the Day. It's
yeah.
a great children's book. It's a true story. Not very many. A lot of books are fiction, which no doesn't matter. But I always have I think it's great when someone can write something that's a true thing that happened in their lives or a part of their lives, and I try to stick to that. That's because I feel like that whether I talk about something good or bad, it's going to help a young person not make those mistakes. And the one
Mistakes.
thing you got to realize is that if you do make a mistake, that means you're human.
Right.
But to make the same mistake twice means that you need work.
You done bumped your head.
Yeah.
God bless. God
All
bless
right.
you and your family. Look forward to getting you back real soon, babe. And
No problem.
just be safe and keep the great work up. He's a favorite guy, great guy. Love him to death. And
I
Maxilla,
like
great show. Mhm. Yeah.
good to be around. Good to see
Okay.
you. Good that you're doing great. And I hope the sports legends of sports continue for many years to come.
Thank you so much. God bless you, babe. Bye bye now. Okay.
Bye bye.